Oh, there we are. Hello everyone and welcome to Adobe Live. Sorry for the hiccups. We've had one or two things over the last couple of days. Sorry for all of those problems, but we're here now. We are actually here now. Oh, crazy stuff. But there we are. Relief to actually be where we should be though at this particular point.
Yeah, it's good.
Which is good news. So much fun. Thank you for bearing with us. So, how's it been going? How did we had a nice dinner last night? Actually, didn't we? It was very good.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, very lovely. And Melanie was with us, which was nice. Melanie Divide from Germany. We've got a few people in the chat already. We've got Sean Kosel here. Hi, Sean. We've got Jack. Hello, Jack. We were talking about you last night, Jack, actually, and your 3D stuff. Emma's with us. Oliver, Sean. We've got Joe. Not in the chat. Right next to me. We've got. So that's really good stuff. Thank you for coming on. If you're watching on YouTube, that's fine. You can do exactly that if you want to. Okay, but what you really should be doing is coming across to be.net/Adobe Live, and you can join in with the amazing community that we have here. So we're continuing from yesterday, right? We had a lot of talk, didn't we, after we'd finished?
We did. We had a bit of a, design debrief.
We did have a bit of a design debrief. And a lot of crying.
But we have been working on our designs a bit, and we have pushed it along. So, in a bit we'll talk through the process, and then we're going to get everything set up so that we can head over into Adobe Express and start getting all our assets ready to promote our podcast.
Yes. So, do you want to take people through the journey that we got to from where we were yesterday afternoon?
Let me just hang on. Don't share my screen in a second. Let me just get up the other file, and then we can talk through the whole thing.
We'll do that.
Perfect. Okay.
Ready? So we'll talk.
Ready.
In fact, we can go right from the. Some people didn't catch yesterday.
We'll go right from the start.
So we'll go right from the start. Let's do that. So let's move across.
A brief recap.
See that? Yes, here we are.
So basically, long story short, me and Tony are going to start a podcast, and it's going to be called Express Design. So the concept for it is short 10-minute episodes. Each episode, and we've already planned out a few of them, each episode will cover a different tool or a different process, something that you can use to improve your sort of design workflow, your design process. We got ChatGPT to write us a podcast synopsis. I won't read it out again, but it's there on the screen. And it was so good that we were like, we have to make this happen. So that's all sorted. We had a look at some podcast covers that are already out there and sort of chatted about what makes a good podcast cover design, keeping it simple, making the text bold and stand out. But one of the things that we talked about, which was really interesting, was legibility. And so obviously, yes, you want it to be legible and you want to be able to read it, but we also talked about how sometimes, maybe adding a layer of it being less easy to read can make people stop in their scroll, make them sort of stay on the artwork a little bit longer. So that's something that we've considered as well. Yeah,
there's loads of research that shows that people who don't immediately find the letters easy to read actually retain more information that way.
That's so interesting. I love that fact. So we also had to think about colour. We picked out a colour palette which we're probably going to slightly abandon, not totally, a little bit abandon. But we talked about how the Creative Boom podcast, for example, which is an amazing podcast, Katie, who runs it, really intentionally went for black and white, because actually, if you look at a lot of podcasts on Apple Podcasts, there's lots of bright colours, and so her podcast really stands out when you're scrolling. And we talked about how, the sort of cliche, don't judge a book by its cover. But actually, that's what we're all doing all of the time. So we are looking at stuff and deciding whether it's relevant to us, whether we want to explore more. So we definitely want to go for something that's sort of going to draw people in and eye-catching. And
I've got a note, by the way, that one in the bottom corner that we've got just there. Is that a hat? Or is
where? Oh, it's like a headpiece. It's like a hairband.
Oh, right, okay. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to ask you.
Yeah. That's a Holly Tucker
have to know,
from
right,
Conversations of Inspiration. Had a look at our mood board. It was all very bright, fun, playful. It'll be interesting to show you guys in a minute our sort of design progress, because it's ended up being quite different. But I think it's definitely got the fun elements to it. We talked about illustration styles. So we've decided for our design not to have pictures of us, but talked about how that's quite a popular route to go down, either to have a photo or an illustration. I think, you can have a lot of fun with different illustration styles on a podcast cover. We did some sketches, very rough sketches. And this was this is where we left off working on this design. So if I just head over into here, you can we'll show you a bit of the process. So we finished drawing out the letters. We decided that we'd play with the inflate tool, which was really fun. It definitely, I feel like it added, maybe it sort of added a bit of a complicated dimension, because I think you have to play around quite a lot to get the letters working and looking good with that effect, maybe. So basically, after we'd drawn this all up, finished the design, drawn this all up, we were feeling that maybe the inflate wasn't working so well with these hand-drawn letters. And I think, this is all part of the process. Sometimes you have to try an idea and actually it doesn't work how you envisaged, and so then it's
we've all done that,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Well, I've pretty much every design process, like every time I work on a project, I always have an idea and I'm like, this is the one, and then I do it and I'm like, oh no, it looks rubbish.
Do you know what I do is typically, especially when I'm an illustrator, right, is I go ahead and I full screen the design. So you've got like a presentation mode in Illustrator. I use that. Nice. I leave the design on. I go back into the house or somewhere else in the studio, do something else, and then come back. And as I walk round to where I sit, it's there straight in my face. And that,
to see your gut reaction,
it's quite often calms me down. I think, no.
But sometimes,
or like, yes.
Sometimes you get a nice surprise and you're like, oh, actually, this looks better than I thought it does.
The surprise I got yesterday was how connected we were to the circus.
I know. So these designs definitely weren't really working for us. So then we started actually taking like a font and using the inflate tool on that, and we've sort of played around with different options, different colours. We'd created a colour palette and we were playing around with some of those, tried some gradients in the background. This is my current favourite because it makes me think of Toffee Crisps chocolate.
That's because we just needed chocolate.
We needed a sugar hit. I think this is very maybe Toffee Crisps.
That has got something about it.
It's got something about it, yeah. But then I think what we've basically landed on, and what I like about this is it kind of comes back full circle to the monochrome that we were talking about. This is the design that we've decided to go for. So we've got Express design. We've taken a really like fun and playful font. We've squished it together so that it's got that real sort of like balloon inflated feel, adding a strokes, giving it a really nice extra dimension. And I think it's kind of hit that it's legible, but also it makes you stop, and you just have to stop and like check that you can read it properly. So that's where we're at today. I'm just having a little look and seeing what anyone's comments are in the chat.
We've got Rufus here. Rufus is with us. Hi, Rufus.
Hi, Rufus. Hi, Sandrine. A mix between toffee and Reese's chocolate. Yeah, that is so true. Reese's Pieces. I like it.
Yeah, so it does actually. And that orange. Anyway, right, moving on.
Anyway, so this is going to be the cover artwork for our podcast. But now, today, we're going to be in Adobe Express and we're going to be thinking about how we can promote our podcast. Yes. But the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get libraries up. I did have it up, I think I closed it. And we're going to create a library with some of these design elements so that then we can open that in Adobe Express and head over. So I'm going to save the whole cover as a graphic.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to save the separate elements as well. And then, we'll get our brand kit set up as well over in Adobe Express.
It's very t-shirtable. That.
I know, yeah. I mean, the merch, we can. I feel like there's so many options for us with this. And I mean, people can start giving us suggestions for podcast episodes.
I've got a face for podcasting. That's right. It's all right you having you on the cover of building your brand. But no, I wouldn't have mine on there. We've got Anna in the chat. Anna Neubauer.
Aww.
Yes, Sandrine, hi.
Right, so I'm just going to get up my swatches and just save the
the colours that
we had yesterday. Because I think we'll bring these, we're not going to have them in the cover, but I think that'll be really fun to bring in to our designs over in Adobe Express.
Yes.
So it'd be great to save all of those. So I can just save each one as a fill colour. And then we'll have our
little brand kit.
Yeah.
You know, you can add notes to things as well inside of Creative Cloud Libraries. So if you want, we were talking about this morning for the podcast, weren't we, about the electronic brand kits, and you can actually add notes that give people direction on where and how they're supposed to be used.
That's great, isn't it? Yeah. Then that's exactly what clients need.
Well, that's what you want. You don't want a book, do you? Sat there with everything else on your desk when having to go through all of those different things.
Right, so I've headed over into Adobe Express and we're going to head to brands. I've got lots of different brands in here. You can see like previous streams, previous projects that we've worked on. Our Liz and Tony stream from before.
We did. Oh, that was out there. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, so actually one thing that I need to do is if I just head back into Illustrator.
Yeah.
I'm just going to save, I just want the Express design. I'm just going to save that as a PNG.
Cool.
So, what did you say? Export for...
export and then...
I've lost everything.
So just a few down, export. There we go.
Yeah, I was like, I can't see anything. Export
it's the bright lights.
Yeah, I know.
It's like being on Close Encounters of the Third Kind, isn't it? So.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. I think, is there a rectangle with that as well, just quickly?
Oh, I don't know. There shouldn't be. There's nothing on the background of the artboard.
No. Okay, cool.
But we'll see how it comes out.
Yes.
But I just want to change it so that it's on my desktop.
Yeah.
I think it was there. Choose.
Cleaner than mine.
PNG. Okay, hopefully that'll do.
Let's have a quick preview of it.
Has it done it?
Yeah. Express logo just there, just one up, I think, from there, isn't it? Oh, no, that's not. That's the mood board.
No, it hasn't.
1X. Go back to the desktop. Because what it's done is it exported out a folder, 1X,
it's just in
on the
there.
side because it's done the size thing, so you can get it to do subfolders.
That's exactly what I want with a transparent background. Nice. So now we can get back into Express. So we'll upload our logo. There we go.
We've got Angus with us in the chat now. Hi, Angus.
Oh, hi, Angus.
Good to see you.
Right, and what I'm going to do is just save the yellow as our brand colour.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to go for something very simple for our font and click next, and then I'm going to put Express Design.
Yes. Sandrine's asking a tech question about Photoshop. Can we put colours in menus like Photoshop does? You can put them on actions, I think, Sandrine, in Illustrator, but not in the menu system, no. As far as I'm aware.
Right. So, if we head over into libraries, hopefully, all being well, it will have saved our Express Design library, and we can have a look and see what assets we've got in here. So we've got the cover, we've got the title on its own, and we've also got the with Liz and Tony bit at the bottom. So that's all there ready for us to use.
But not the colours. That's but
no,
Sean
the
was
colours,
remarking
but the
on
colours are in the brand kits. Well, no, they're not the colours. That's a good point. Oh yeah, the colours haven't brought over. So what we'd need to do for that is if we go back to brands, then we would just need to go into. Oh, where's it gone? It's not saved yet. Can you see it? No.
No.
Let's refresh it and see if it's there. Yeah, there it is.
Yes.
Okay, that's all we needed. So we can go in and we can add more colours.
Yeah.
So if we just head back into Illustrator, my menu's not coming up. And we can just get the hex codes of these, and we can just bring them over nice and quickly. So we'll add those in. You can keep everyone entertained while I quickly save the colours.
What should we do today? Tap dancing. There we go. Let's have a quick catch up actually on what's going on in the chat. What is Sean not seeing in AI? I can't tell actually. Stuart's saying, I have an idea for episode 1, the art of spinning plates.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, how do you think we dealt with the spinning plates yesterday?
We can give our top tips for juggling about 20 things at the same time.
Emma's got a brilliant emoji, crying, laughing emoji, just there for that one, which actually we were doing after as well, because there's a point at which you just think, oh, I don't know.
There was a point at which it was like, are we laughing or are we crying? No one's quite sure.
I think it was both, actually.
I'm just going to go in and change this to Lato as well.
Yes, I love that typeface.
Lato.
Yeah.
It is a good one. I feel like it's very solid.
I overuse it a little bit. And Century Gothic is another one I've found myself using a lot.
Okay.
There's so many on Adobe fonts.
I know. Yeah, there is so many. And actually, that's a really good point, because let's just head to Adobe Fonts now, because what I want to do is find something that is going to complement the font that we've used on our podcast cover. So like something...
Oh, so you can do a bit of a font pairing suggestion
I
from
think
there.
so.
Yeah.
So I actually want to keep it quite similar. So something that's like... it doesn't come out with it. Let's try rounded, see what comes up. So I want something that's like... The font is very like bubbly, very sort of soft edges. So I want something that's not quite that extreme, but it's got rounded edges.
Have you tried the filtering options in Adobe Fonts?
Yeah, really good.
So
when you go to
all fonts, and then you've got those options there because they've got the thematic suggestions on the side. But you can
so we can go clean, and it's got a rounded section, so that's exactly what I need. And then we can sort of go through and find something, even like silver grey. That's nice. I never say the fonts correctly.
Oh no, it's just that one is the best way to say, and just like wobble your cursor over and stuff like that. I get
this one,
exactly the same thing. This one, I like this one here. This Karak, so good.
Karak, that is. I think that could work.
Karakue.
Oh dear.
Who knows?
How would you say this one?
FF Cocon.
Oh, nice. Check you out. Yeah. Quicksand, I can say that one. I think Quicksand could be a good option. Sophia Pro is nice. So something that's not
I've used that one before as well. It's just cool.
And actually, Hoss Round. Oh, I love that.
Something I tend to look for as well. I don't know, is lots of variants, lots of family variants.
Which this one has. So that's round. Okay, I need you to remember for me Hoss Round.
Hoss Round.
That's my other problem, is that I always forget. Yeah. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to create a carousel post to promote the launch of our podcast. So we've got our brand kit set up. So what we're going to do is we're going to head to the plus sign and we are going to do an Instagram post.
Nice.
All good. And then what I'm going to do is head into libraries and just get our cover and bring that in. So that can be the first slide of our carousel post. So just bring that up. And then what we're going to do is create some more pages and give the information. So while I create the next page, you can decide on a launch date for us to
That's okay. Yeah, I can work that out.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I can work that out.
Just pick a date. I won't hold you to it.
No, it's good. I'm just having a quick. Oliver Andrews is so funny. He's putting a thing in about Comic Sans. Emma was saying somehow all of them sound French with that accent. Font browsing, says Joe, a designer's retail therapy. True,
that is true. So I've just headed back into my brands because I'm going to make this my default brand, because this is going to be the one that I'm working with today, and I just want everything to be really accessible for me. So we'll head back to
Sean's handing over some tips. Look at the top tab for the font name. It's in the title. Pro tip.
Oh, that is a pro tip for forgettable people
Sandra
like me.
says, how many typefaces are too many typefaces?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've definitely reached.
Sean's saying April the 1st. That's
my goodness, that is what we have to do.
That's not a bad day because I'm actually back then because I'm away.
It has to be April the 1st. Yeah. Okay, so now I've got all my colours here, so we can start. Okay, April the 1st is. So what we'll do is add some text. Launch, and we'll add launching.
Yes.
We'll find Hoss. Oh, I love that tip, Sean. I can't believe. Definitely leave the tab open and not close it. It's the way to go. Okay.
Loads of variants. Love it. Ooh, that is actually good.
It is nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to make that black.
By the way, happy International Women's Day, everyone.
Yeah.
That's why we're celebrating half of the world's population. For everything they do, none of us would exist without them. That is a certainty.
Okay.
And we love them. So congrats to all of the women out there. And over there.
So, cool.
Amazing. In the UK, but because we're on the UK stream, of course, we ought to point out that in Germany it's a holiday, International Women's Day, and something we could learn there, I'm sure.
Definitely. Okay, so I like how.
Do you think we should add a whimsical parenthetical
Always.
comment underneath? No, that just says like, "We're not kidding."
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Or not kidding.
Nice.
Just small underneath.
Yeah. This is not a joke.
Yeah.
And then we'll just bring that down. Let's make it nice and small so people have to like squint to read.
What does that say? They'll zoom in, but all the time they'll be holding on to that date, which is really good.
Got to think of all these fun, clever ways to make people remember. So I like how, if we just go out, I like how we go in bold with our black and white, and then we've got some colour coming on the next page.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's add, what other bits of information would it be helpful to tell people?
We can tell them where they can get it.
Yeah, exactly. So let me just go back into this, and we'll duplicate the page.
Do you think we need an emoji on there, or do you think purely typographic?
An emoji?
Yeah, like party horn or something like that.
Yeah, that could be fun. Yeah, I'll go back and find an emoji in a second.
Okay.
Oh, in fact, well, what's so great is in shapes. There's like so many good options. Let's type in party and see what comes up.
Yeah. Can we animate that? Can we make? Would that work on a carousel? It wouldn't work on a carousel, would it?
Yeah, you can have like videos in your carousel. So we could have some of the slides in our carousel could be animated.
Look, party horns.
Yeah. Nice. I love this. This is genuine collaborative design.
That looks celebratory, I think.
Yeah, nice. I love that the noun project symbols are like integrated into Express. It's one of the best features for me anyway.
Yes.
What's your favourite Adobe Express feature, Tony?
Ooh,
sorry.
The scheduler.
The scheduler. Yeah, I love the scheduler. Just dropping tough questions on you. Okay.
What's your favourite Adobe Express feature?
That is.
You can't say all of them because
I can't say all of them. I think
it's like children. You've got to pick one.
Definitely the noun project assets are up there, but I think probably the background remove tool.
Yeah.
I use that all the time.
That's super useful, for people who need to communicate with images like that and they don't have an application like Photoshop, to just be able to hand that job over to Adobe Express and say, don't worry, I've got you.
And I think I did one of my very first streams in Express, I think you were hosting me, was how to make like a fun branded headshot. And what I love about it is that you can remove the background and then just go to town with the background and make it look really on brand and just like add way more personality than probably just the random background you happen to be photographed in front of. Okay, awesome. So let's do a little synopsis for this one. So we'll have and then on the last slide we'll have like find us on all the platforms.
Yep.
So what I should do is go and get a bit. Shall I go and get a bit from our chat GPT synopsis? Because it's so
useful
good.
for that though.
Yeah, amazing.
That's the funny thing, though, isn't it? When you called me and you said that you'd generated, so I've got to show you this thing that I've generated in ChatGPT. And then it was just, when I read it, it was like, we've kind of got to do that.
I know, that was the bit that sold it to us, wasn't it? It just made us sound so good.
I just read it and I thought, I don't know who these two people are, but I'm really interested in what they're doing.
So I think we definitely won't need all of this, but we'll... what I'm going to do is just get it set up and then we'll delete some of the text. So I'm going to left align it because one of my biggest bugbears, I don't know how you feel about this, Tony, but large amounts of text are really difficult to read if they're center aligned because your eye doesn't know where
it has to travel too fast. Then it has,
doesn't know where to find the next line. And the number of emails, like marketing emails I get from people where the whole thing is center aligned and I just don't read them.
It's like seeing the entire credits of a movie stuck down in front of you.
Yeah.
Do you know the bit at the end, the end titles where all of the credits are running?
I'm going to go for regular for this because I don't think we need it. So let's just...
Yeah, that's good and contrasty.
Get rid of some bits of this. We'll have like a more summarised version.
Yeah. Are you going to increase the interlinear space on that? Because it's reversed. Yes.
And I'm actually going to divide it up into 3 different text boxes so that we can have some nice space between it. So I'm just going to copy that.
Cool. Let's have a quick look. Joe's got a nerdy version for the cracker joke. How many typefaces are too many? Sorry, how many typefaces are too many typefaces? Depends if you include the counters.
You can always rely on the chat on our streams. I'm glad you're monitoring the chat because I would get so distracted. Okay. Yes, let's increase the space.
Yes. Yeah, I think that was always important. Whenever you've got text that's reversed out, I think you should always bum that up.
Right, let's get rid of... I'm going to get rid of a bit more of this text because this is a bit too long, but just to, it's just to give people an idea.
Yeah. By the way, Angus earlier on in the chat was talking about toffee crisp vibes.
Oh yeah.
From when he came in.
I'm glad he spotted the toffee crisp vibes. Right, let's just check what this is. We have 42.3 and 168. Perfect.
Yes.
Get those the same.
Yeah, Spangles. That's right. No, you're too young to remember Spangles, aren't you?
Yeah. What are Spangles?
They were just like a boiled sweetie.
Okay.
They were very tasty. They had the coolest wrapper.
Does this happen on you? I feel like the number of times we end up chatting food in the chat on Adobe Live is quite a lot as well.
We do, actually, yeah.
Right, do you think one of these should be black, just a contrast? Let's give it a try.
Well, that would add a bit of visual interest, wouldn't it? And then what you're going to do, increase the weight of one or the other.
Yeah.
Do you think?
What do you think? Or maybe keep it all white,
Add
actually.
more wolves.
Add more wolves?
Yeah, the hovering art director.
I know you're the hovering art director today.
I am today.
I was yesterday. Okay, so let's make our final spread. So we'll pick another colour and we'll just change this text and we'll say something like, find us wherever you listen to your podcast.
Yes. You've got too many easy ones, I think.
So
yes.
Your podcast.
You could just make it wherever. You just join it into one thing. Yes.
Or wherever you listen to podcasts. What do you think? Like that?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go for black for this one. And then I'm going to increase the weight. Go for a...
I think we need a podcast icon in there as well.
Yes, definitely.
That would be good.
Hoss round. Maybe for this one we'll go for bold. And then we will increase the size. And this bit, because it is a short amount of text, I'm happy to centre a line, and I think that'll work well.
Yeah.
I'm just going to decrease the line spacing for this one.
I'm glad that the age of forced justification seems to be over.
Yes. Oh,
I used to
me
hate
too.
that.
Yeah. So we'll go back into shapes, and we'll search podcast.
Joe wants to know, what if I listen to my podcast on a walk? Will I find that? Because to be honest, I do listen to yours in my car.
Oh, that's a good point. I'm hoping that you'll realise that you need to have some tool with you to listen to the podcast.
You would think most people that's a great one. Just
yeah, that's nice.
Very much like the Apple podcast icon.
Yeah.
It's a very good point, but yeah, most people who listen to podcasts know that they need some piece of tech,
some tool.
To
I mean, maybe I'll get to the levels where my podcast is just like booming out of the tree. That would be amazing. Right, I'm just going to change this to a different colour. Yes, nice. So let's scroll out and just have a look at how this is all flowing together.
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah.
I think it's getting there. I feel
can we get one more in with a cream background?
Yeah.
I just want a colour progression. What can we say on it?
Yeah, think of something Tony thinks I'd like to say.
Yeah, that's true.
Love Liz and Tony.
Yeah, like it's a note. Why not?
Yes. Okay. What I'm going to do actually is go grab from the libraries, because I forgot to save the cream, but I've got this text that we saved. So I can just get the cream from here, which would be nice.
Yeah.
Get my eyedropper tool and just save it
Sweet.
from there.
Yes.
And then just make sure I delete this, and then we'll put in here. Do you want kisses, Tony?
Yeah, underneath. 3.
Okay.
I feel like I'm on Michael McIntyre's big show right now, and we're about to send to all.
Okay, I'm just going to duplicate that and put the kisses in a separate. Nice. Okay, and then this needs to get changed out for, what are we thinking, a heart?
Big heart, yes.
So many to choose from.
Oliver into the chat. It's just replying to Joe about his walk and saying, hiding behind a bush somewhere, they leap out and start reading the podcast.
We're just going to follow Joe around so he can have his own personal podcast, live rendition of the podcast.
Joe wakes in the morning, just a hint of sunlight.
You think that would be the scariest thing ever if we were
from
just
the bottom of his bed. Morning, Joe, and welcome to this week's episode of Express Design. Come on, Tony Harmer.
So this is how it's all looking together, and it's great, like you said, having the options of all the different weights, because I think it's giving us lots of flexibility for our different sections. So we've created our carousel post to promote the episode. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create some templates for us to promote individual episodes.
Yeah.
So that it's all ready to go.
Dial those in. Yeah.
And then we can save those into our library as well. So we've got everything sort of handy together. So I'm going to start a new project for those. So that one's sort of ready to go. So
do you find, by the way, sorry, that working in an environment like that where you don't have to think about saving, where it's automatic, do you find that you want everything to work like that, and it just to do it?
Yeah, I do. I do want everything to work like that. I know. Well,
I'd make a plug-in for it and call it Annika.
This is the thing. I don't ever have to worry about Annika popping up in one of my live streams to tell me to say.
Yeah, true.
Except, you know what I'm not very good at, which I want to get better at, is naming my projects. So I'm going to name this Express Design.
Remind me never, ever, ever to show you the home screen on Fresco on my iPad.
Oh, well, you wouldn't
like
want to see mine either.
Untitled, however many hundreds it is now.
Promo templates. Okay, there we go. Go me. So there's a few different templates that I think it would be good to create. So one is like a quote post. So we'll like pull a quote out of the episode and have that as a graphic. One I think would be good to do is like have an episode, almost like individual episode artwork. So like, episode 3 and the title. And then also a review post. So when all of the reviews come flooding in for our podcast, because I think sometimes, we're on the UK stream, so we can say this, we're a bit British and we don't like to brag about our success, and you don't want to like tell people when someone said something good, but actually that is so important for, share, like putting it out there, encouraging other people to read it. So those are the 3 that we're going to make to start off with. So and we can keep like using our colours. So for one of them, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a black background, but then I'm going to use one of our colours for the type, because I think that'll look really striking.
Yeah. Let's have a quick catch up in the chat. Sandrine is... Sandrine's just telling us about she's doing multiple renders while she's listening, so she can't really type in the chat. But
Stuart says, and if you try to run, Liz sprints after you.
Liz has got an e-scooter with a speaker on the front. It's got a microphone off the top that's going off.
No, because I've been running, that's why.
Of course you have.
But
10K,
I'm not
10K.
No, I'm not up to 10K. I'm up to 5. Thanks though, Tony.
I thought you
I'm getting there. But I like how Stuart thinks that I sprint, because that's definitely not my running speed.
No. Also use groups in your project panel. Pro tip 2.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay, I'm getting distracted. So we're going to do our quote post. So I'm just going to make up a quote that we can say. So our first episode is probably going to be about Adobe Express. Spoiler alert.
Yep.
So I'm going to do a quote that you've said. I'm going to put words into your mouth about the scheduler. So...
Excuse me. The scheduler. I love the scheduler.
Okay. Obviously, it probably will base this on something that you actually say rather than just making something up.
No, but I mean, for now, we need a placeholder.
Exactly.
So
it's just the template at this point. And then I just need to make sure that I put it into my Hoss round, which I can see up here. I don't know what it is. Haven't forgotten it.
That tab tip.
Tab tip. That's going to change my life. That's
paying dividends. There you go. Thank you, Sean. You get 50,000 Liz and Tony points.
Again, I think we'd have to sort of call this on per quote, but I think for one this short, we could have it centered. But if it got any sort of bigger, what colour do you reckon?
I like the yellow.
Yeah, let's go with the yellow.
Super contrasty.
And then what I'm going to do...
Are we going to put some quotes on it?
Yeah.
Yes.
See if there's like some interesting quotes on it. If not, we can... Perfect.
Yeah.
This is what I'm looking for.
Ooh. Now, do we go with something square that will contrast to the roundness of the text?
Or go full rounded?
Yeah.
What do you think? I think I like these actually.
Yeah,
I like
they
the
are
shape
cool.
of them.
Plus, they also look a little bit like eyes.
Yes.
Sorry, I've got a cough on. Ah, that works well.
Nice. Just get the other ones. And then I think because we aren't having guests, we were doing a podcast where we were having guests, I'd make sure that there was a space for the name, but because it'll either be you or me, I think we can sort of safely leave it with this one. Do you think the same colour or different colour?
I think the same colour.
Okay.
Yes.
Don't want to get too...
design principle, isn't it? Is using colour for suggesting association.
Nice. Okay, great. So what I will do is save this. Let me just get this lined up. Save this. Actually, you know what we could do is we could have like a little shape in the corner. Let me...
Yeah, so I was going to say, would we ever have a photo on occasion of a guest if it was...
Well, I don't think we're having guests, but we could use photos of us, definitely. I don't have a photo of you. I'll stick a photo of me in a bit. Okay. So actually, this could be cool. So what we'd do is if I go into... my libraries and find my library rather than the Express library.
Linda in the chat is saying, sample quote, super contrasty. I think I'll say that.
I did a post on for my current podcast. I did a bingo, things Liz says over and over again, bingo, because there was like so many things. Okay, so what I'm going to do is grayscale this. Actually, no, I'm going to duotone it, and I'm going to get the colours from our brand kit, not obviously with pink, but maybe with white, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to just close that up. I'm going to remove the background.
So good. Like it.
Sample quote, super contrast. I love that. Oh, interesting.
Oliver says most of his projects are called My Project.
Nice. I'm glad it's not just us.
I've used this before, and what I've done is I've made copies of... so I've made 2 more duplicates and then changed the duotone and laid them on top of each other to get sort of
nice,
a really...
to get more... Yeah.
really sort of punky effect. I like it.
What I might do is like play around with the contrast as well.
Yeah.
I think that'll sort of help give it... I quite like that it's it's actually quite muted, because I want the text to be the thing that people are like drawn into the most. But yeah, so then we can have like what if I had been organised enough and I had got a picture of you, what would be really nice is then to just have a matching one of you on the other side.
I could airdrop you one. I could do one now. A selfie.
I've got one. Do you know what? Weirdly, I think I've weirdly got one of Andy Lambert. I think, I don't know why. Oh, it's from my podcast episode. But anyway, yeah. So we can.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah.
I'll copy and paste myself over for now. It's a bit double Liz, but Tony will be there.
Yeah.
That's where Tony will go. So yeah, I think that.
Actually, I love what I've done with my hair.
Oh dear. You get the idea.
Yeah.
So
it's a template. It's fine.
Yeah. It looks a little bit vain, but we'll go with it. So what we're going to do is make this a template, and we're going to save it as quote template. And then what I really like is that, okay, we're working on this project together, so I can leave you a note. So I can put, Tony, use this when you want to share a quote from the podcast.
Yes.
And then I find Express Design and save the template.
God, such a good tool.
I know. So, okay, perfect. So we've done our quote post.
Yep.
So now we're going to do our sort of title for the podcast quote. Blah,
Okay.
blah, blah.
That one.
Yeah, that one.
By the way, we're at the halfway mark.
Okay,
so
perfect. I was going to ask you time. One thing I am going to quickly do actually is I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to resize it. Now, if you have premium, then you can resize it like really easily within the same
and reformat
project.
For different ratios.
So I'm going to reformat for an Instagram story so that we can share it. Sometimes you might not want to put it on your grid and you might just want it on a story. So we can just rejig things. I mean, it does a pretty good job of sort of reordering it.
It does an excellent job of doing it.
But we'll just move things around slightly. Ooh. Might just have to fix that because it's had a little meltdown.
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now we've got within that template, we've got those two, which is great. So let's start a new project. And again, we'll start with an Instagram post, but we'll also make it for a story. In fact, we don't need to do this now, but the other thing, I think, the other places that we probably want to promote it, where do you spend most of your time? LinkedIn. I feel like you're big on LinkedIn, so you would probably want to do like a more You could share the square one, and the carousel posts work so well on LinkedIn, which is
very, very popular.
Really popular. Yeah. Andy Lambert shares loads of tips about like what creates engaging posts, and then I don't know if you saw his video the other day, but you can now like co-author posts on LinkedIn. So what we could do is we could share a post about our latest podcast episode, but we would both be authors, so it would appear in like both of our feeds, which would be awesome. So that would be great. So next up, I'm going to go with a black background for this one, I think. Oh, well, we'll see. I'm going to see how it goes. I'm going to go into back into libraries. Actually, no, I'm going to go into my brands, logos, and I'm going to get the logo that we saved.
Yep.
It always puts it in the bottom right for you, sort of assuming that it's just like a little added, extra.
Like a property. That's the TV name for those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we'll have this up at the top. So this is like to promote the episode, and then I'm going to have like the episode number, the episode title, and then maybe another like reminder that people can find it wherever they want. So we'll just add some text. So you can come up with a pithy name for our first episode about Adobe Express. Express your design. Oh no, that's too many expresses. Express your design in Adobe Express.
Literally expressed. Literally expressed design.
Dear. Okay, yeah. I'll leave you to mull that one over.
Or the chat. The chat can get involved.
Let us know. Come up with our podcast names title names for us.
Yes, come on Chat GPT
slash
Behance. The Behance version of Behance GPT. Sean says I've changed. How have I changed, Sean? I mean, if it's my clothes, like daily, sometimes 3 times. But
Annika says I Liz this logo. Annika started with the Liz jokes.
I love the Liz jokes. I'm living my best life.
Okay, while everyone's thinking of a title, I'll just put in the episode number.
Sandrine saying PDF carousels on LinkedIn are great. They are, and they work directly on Adobe Express. That was something else we were talking about yesterday, but we'll leave that for the time being.
How easy it is to save a PDF from Adobe Express.
Express ways to express yourself with Express Designs. Without looking, see if you can guess where that came from.
Oh no, but there's just so many potential characters that it could be. I'm gonna guess Sean. No.
Oh no, it's
Stuart.
Oliver.
Oh, see, this is the thing. There's just so many potentials. Yeah. Tony, the Liz and Liz photos for the Liz and Tony show. Oh dear, I'm gonna try not to cry laughing on this stream. Okay. What title are we going for? You've got to choose.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh no, I thought the chat were coming up with it.
Express ways to express yourself with Express. No, express ways to express yourself with Adobe Express. I actually like that.
Yeah. It is actually quite funny. And it's got the word express in so many times. 4 times on there.
And it is going to be a funny podcast, so it needs to be funny. Express ways to express yourself with Adobe Express.
Wasn't there a song called Express Yourself? There was, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that you need to unify the word express using colour.
Oh, what? So each highlighted.
Each one is highlighted.
So the only issue
and capitalised.
The only issue with that is that you can't.
Right. It won't allow inline colorization.
No.
Right.
So that is one of the limitations currently in Express. But so the way around that is you'd have to have it as like separate. But what we could do is we could add like an underline, which could be quite nice. So underline each of them with a different colour. So that'll be our title. I think I might go for the yellow again for that. And then maybe I'll go with a line. Yeah, perfect. And then we can just...
Melanie suggests Espresso Duo.
Oh, that's
Joe says Express without espresso.
Oh, they're all coming in.
And the light espresso. We're heading back towards food via the... via the drinks. Just there, coffee lines in the air. Your hearing's impressive. Let's just.
They just need a little bit of time to walk.
Oh, if Emma was on the chat, she could be Lex. Emma could have her own podcast called Lexpress.
Oh dear. They were just warming up and now everyone's going for it.
Kicking in. You can use the highlight feature they recently added in Adobe Express, does Annika? I didn't know about the highlight feature.
Oh, no. Annika, tell us more.
Highlighted. Let's have a quick...
Let's see if that...
Is it... Ooh.
No.
No.
That's not that.
Where that? Just click the plus icon next to the main style. What?
Ah. Oh my goodness, Annika, you've just changed my life. I did not. That's amazing. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let me delete these. Well, we're all learning something new on the stream today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, there's so many features that come out across all of these.
Yeah. So hang on, how do we get back to that? So then we...
The thing I didn't get to mention yesterday, by the way, when we were doing the inflate option, is that Illustrator with the 3D effects now includes, you can add up to 10 independent lights on that. So the version you showed earlier, the first version there, that had a magenta underlight on it. So there was a magenta underlight coming from the bottom, which changed the whole nature. It was also side lit by a purple light, which had the effect of changing the deep black shadows that were around the stuff we did yesterday when the circus was in town.
That is awesome. So that you see how easy that was, and then I just clicked on the words. So amazing! That is a brilliant new update. I missed that one. Right, I'm just going to copy the episode 1 bit, and I'm going to bring down here, and then we're going to put the date in as well, so that people know when it came out.
April 1st, 2023.
Yeah, let's add it all in.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, perfect. So that'll be our template when there's a new episode. Express ways to express yourself with Adobe Express. Again, it's a working title, it's a template, it's fine. So what I'm going to do again is create, I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to resize this, and I'm going to have a story.
Nice.
And that's actually done a pretty good job.
The Linda in the chat, by the way, I mentioned a little while ago, isn't there a song, Express Yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Madonna song.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. They're all singing in the chat now. It's very good.
That's excellent.
Sandrine's singing, Linda's singing.
Right.
I think Sandrine's also earlier on doing backing vocals.
I'm going to duplicate the page again, and I'm going to resize again, and I'm going to do a LinkedIn, a nice LinkedIn post.
Yes.
Would you go for, let's go for, nice.
That's cool.
I do feel like these designs are definitely going to stand out and a bit different from other sort of stuff that I've seen out there when it comes to podcasts. So I think that'll be really nice. Okay.
We were talking about Sean as well last night, weren't we? Do you remember? We were talking about the bridge thing.
Oh yeah, your bridge jokes. Yeah. Okay, so let's just save that template. So we'll make it a template, and we'll call it episode title.
Nice.
And then I'll be like, hey Tony, use this when you want to announce a new episode. Because obviously you're going to be doing all of this.
Oh yeah, I'll be doing all that. Yeah, you'll be busy.
No, I'm joking. Okay.
You actually got to write "Hey Chloe" in there because she'll be doing it.
She'll be doing it. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So let's do one more, and we're going to do our review post.
Yes, for when the reviews come rolling in.
The reviews come rolling in,
changed
as we
my
confidently
life.
know they will.
My life has changed. I'm happier. Sean's saying not bridge again. Sulking up. We had last night. We were talking about one of Sean's streams. I happened upon one of his streams, and he was getting some teasing for bridge, and I just saw so many opportunities to dive in.
That's just like how your brain works, though, doesn't it? It's
I
like
know,
someone
I'm
says
wired
something, and
up
then
wrong.
all the jokes.
They do, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go for a pink background for this one. Going to keep the logo.
Does Express have blend modes? Can you? It has some, doesn't it?
Some, I think, yeah.
Yeah. That was just it's not that we're using it. But just side question. I just couldn't remember if I'd seen them there.
Ooh, Oh no, I've spelled it wrong. Don't panic. Okay.
By the way, people on the Adobe Live hosting team, thanks very much for their large bowl of blue M&Ms.
That was your rider.
That's in my rider, yeah.
Okay.
Or an M&Ms, but only blue ones.
In a Cockney accent. Right. I'm gonna write myself. I'm gonna write.
You can write a review.
A glowing review.
Okay, yeah. Let's have it. Annika, also wishing everyone happy International Women's Day. It's cool.
Just getting carried away.
It's the best postcard I've ever listened to. I learned so much, and it has already sped up my workflow or my process.
And saved me hours.
God, I want to listen to that podcast.
I know. We're just
I
doing
bet it'll be
so
fun
well.
as well. I bet it'll be loads of laughing.
Definitely. When we recorded our podcast together, the first 5 minutes was just us laughing.
It was seconds, because you used it as a soundbite at the beginning. Yeah. We've been in 3 seconds. Yeah.
Right, I'm going to left align this one. And I'm going to put the name down. So we'll give who said it. I'm going to make, this is going to be Annika's quote.
Yeah.
This is what Annika thinks of our podcast, guys. Bring that down there.
Annika's such a good sport.
She is. I feel like I mention her in every stream I do.
But so do I do.
Awesome. Okay.
In fact, that is automatic now when I save.
I know.
I say before Annika gets here, well, let's get this saved.
I don't think she was here when we were talking about how we don't need to save in Adobe Express.
No, she wasn't. No.
Okay, great. So, and then what I think would be nice is to just create a few versions of this with different colorways, so that we've got options. So it's not always the same one, but they'll still stand out.
Yeah. Can we create an animated thing for?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Cool.
I think we might have time, mightn't we?
Yeah, tell me what. We're definitely going to do some animated things. Yeah, tell me what the what time are we at? How long?
We have half an hour, so we're
okay. Perfect. We're on track.
We are.
That is it's coming up. So we'll just save this. And again, I think for this, I won't do it now, but you can resize it for all the other options. So we'll just make this another template, and we'll do testimonial template.
Yes.
I can't spell. Monial template.
What merch are we going to have?
What merch? Okay, yeah. Good question. Definitely t-shirts.
T-shirts.
Enamel pins.
Enamel pins.
Hats, yeah. Hats. I'm not really a... do you wear caps? I'm not really a hat
Yeah, I do,
person.
yeah. Oh, I have quite the collection.
I can imagine that you would.
I have a lot of hats. In fact, Sharon did say to me a while ago, no more hats. Stickers, definitely stickers. We can do stickers first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice easy
do those
one.
today.
Yeah. Keep your eyes out, guys.
We'll get that order in.
Yeah. Okay, great. So the other things that I wanted to create on the stream are I'm going to create some overlays, because tomorrow we're going to be looking at video. So basically branded overlay that can go over the teaser video, basically. So we'll create that. And then the other thing we're going to do, again, for tomorrow, is we're going to create an animated outro, so that then you can just bring that into Premiere Pro. And yeah, it'll sort of just bring all the branding together. So let's do those. So I'm going to create...
Angus, my spinning plate stats are smashing now. This podcast sounds awesome, says Oliver Andrews.
So we're going to go for story dimensions for this, and we're going to I'm going to bring in the logo again. So obviously most of this, we want it to be clear, because it's going to be a video of us, but we want to have the branding in there.
Yeah. Annika's got a suggestion for merch.
Okay.
But I think she's meant to be saying hats and magnets. But I like the idea of hats magnets.
Maybe that's a thing. Magnets that go on hats.
Yeah, magnets on hats. Really good. Joe is saying you could have a whole series of promotional materials filled with glowing reviews, merch, promo sites, but never actually release it anywhere. We could. Chip helmets. Plates for spinning. And Joe saying magnetic hats sound great.
Okay, I need to stop looking at the chat. Okay, so what we're going to do is this can be pretty simple. So we're going to have Express Design, we're going to have the episode number, and we're going to have the name of whoever's on there.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the sort of rounded corner square.
Yep.
And what we'll do is we'll make one of these for you and one of these for me.
Yes. Oh, we can do our link tree stuff as well, couldn't we?
Yeah.
And our polls.
Our polls?
We could do a poll. We could do a poll template.
Yeah.
I think you did one of those ones, didn't you? On one of
what? So like people.
One of your lives, you did your question template.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's
do you remember?
Good idea, yeah. Right. So the background for this will be, we'll save it as a PNG, the background will be transparent, and then this will get brought into Premiere so that it can just go over the teasers.
Yes, bit of vertical video.
Yeah. Vertical video first is
yes.
what often the advice is.
We know that statistics at the moment say that for most Gen Zers, when they want to learn something about a particular topic, the first place they go is TikTok.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah.
I have heard that. How are you getting on with TikTok, Tony?
Yeah.
Deep sigh.
Yeah. I keep well, you know what my plan is for
I
TikTok. It's just I've actually got to go ahead and execute the plan rather than just have all of that stuff hanging around. But I still think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
But I've just got to be in the right frame of mind to do it.
So what I'm going to do then is have sort of like one in the other colour, maybe the yellow, at a kind of like jaunty angle underneath.
Jaunty. I like jaunty. Cardiff confetti.
Oh yeah, Oh, we've got all the references in the chat today.
What browser is that? Is that Chrome?
Yeah.
You know that to go between tabs, you can use the command key and numbers.
Oh, nice.
Up to 9.
Except I didn't mean to go between tabs. Right. That was accidental.
But no, if you wanted to switch to the fonts tab now, for example,
yes,
you've got there, command 2 would take you over to that.
Nice.
It's handy.
Episode
browser
1.
tip.
So this just means
Oliver said, I've not made any videos dancing alongside your car yet, Tony. You've seen my truck, Oliver. That would be very dangerous. TikTok Tony, is that username available?
Oh my goodness, TikTok. Yes, is it? You need to find that.
Actually, not looking now at all. No, I'll have a look in a minute. Well, it won't be by the time the stream's over.
Yeah. Someone will have got it and be charging you a fortune for it.
There'll be knockoff Tony impersonators all over the place. Sandrine went on TikTok once, and she's still
recovering.
Tic-tac, Tony. Oh dear. The risk is, of course, if I actually go to TikTok, I'll be bombarded with a load of noise. Oh dear. I could try seeing if there's another handle. Let's just give it a try.
Okay, so
while you're doing all the work, I'll.
So there we've got. It's kind of hard to see because it's got a white background, but this will be transparent. The logo will appear at the top. The video of us will be behind it.
Yeah.
What I want to do, so I've created these for like individual videos. So this would just be like a headshot of me talking. The other one here would be of you talking. But what I'm going to create now is one that we can overlay of 2 videos, so of me and you, so that we can do that kind of thing as well. So let me just, I'm going to leave that there for now. But what I'm going to do is create this a colour. What background do you fancy? Should we go with a blue? We haven't done blue yet. And then I'm going to get shapes.
Because we're going to have to do outtake stuff, you know. When
I mean, yeah, it's probably going to be mostly outtakes, isn't it? Let's be honest. I'm actually going to go for the rounded corners because I think that sort of fits in quite nicely with like the look of our brand.
Do you know what I love about our community is they've always got our back for things. I mean, Annika's jumped in and said, mute your phone before you open the app, which I actually did, Annika, to be fair. But it still makes me think, is this a wise thing to be doing when we're live? The answer is no, always, but...
right, just going to move up here.
I love that visual stacking order.
I know, yeah, that's your favourite feature.
It is my...
Like
actually, do you know what? I'm revising my favourite feature. That is my favourite feature.
For this one, okay, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to make the episode just quite small down the bottom.
Yes.
And one thing that we need to factor in is like leaving space for captions, because captions are important.
I know in our plan you said, you know, we're going to do short episodes like that, 15 minutes.
It's never going to happen, is it?
No, they're going to be an hour.
This is what we're aiming for. We'll see if it actually...
15 minutes. It's good to have goals.
It's good to have goals. Right, I'm just going to move all of this up. So what we'll do before tomorrow is we'll save this as a PNG, and these white bits will be transparent. And this is where the video will sit behind.
We could do pretending recording later on, then put that video in.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. That is exactly what we'll do.
Yes.
Or maybe we just record the first episode, you know, get in the...
We could.
Okay, so then down here.
So earlier on we had 2 images of Liz, now we've got 2 Tonys.
Yeah. He's just talking to himself about Adobe
That's perfectly
Express.
normal.
Okay. So I think this is coming together. And then if, say, for example, this is me getting carried away and you're going to love this idea. Yeah. Say we decided to live record an episode and sort of like we'd stream it at the same time, then we would create something like this, but obviously, for, you know, like landscape for screen. This would be our, like what we've got up now, but it would be in the sort of branding of the podcast. So many ideas.
Yes. That we're going to make happen. I'm still unsure of what it is. That a thing, Sandrine? I'm still unsure what it is about opening giant oysters and selling the pearls live on TikTok.
Oh yes, I think that is a thing.
Is that really a thing?
Honestly, I stumble across some weird things on TikTok. Yeah, there are people selling all sorts.
Angus thinks that our podcasts are going to be 15 minutes long, but there'll be 1 hour of outtakes.
Yes, I think that's a fairly accurate assessment.
What I was saying, your outtakes could be a few mistakes between each cutting back to a long clip of you both just laughing.
Okay, how are we doing for time?
We are doing good. We have 19 minutes left.
Okay, perfect. So this is going to be I'm going to call this our overlay. I'm going to save it as a template.
Annika wants to know how often we're recording our podcast. So we're going to do a season at a time, so it's weekly, isn't it?
Weekly, I think it'll come out. Yeah, we'll record a season.
Yeah, we've already factored that in, Annika.
Okay, so we've got those ready for our teasers, our promos, which will be going on TikTok Tony,
TikTok Tack
Tony, whatever it was. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do...
Tack Tony. Noughts and crosses.
Is we're going to create our like outro video, or animation, I should say. So let's go let's go with the pink.
Can you record? Do you know? Can you record video directly into Adobe Express? Like if you're working with it on your phone, can you? Because you can take pictures,
I
can't
haven't tried
you?
that. Yeah, you can take pictures. There's definitely more editing capabilities on the mobile. There's like quick actions here. If we just go into video quick actions, so you can we'd actually be able to like edit quite a bit of our teasers within here. Okay. So like trim the videos, can resize the videos, merge them, all that kind of thing. So that's really, we could even make GIFs of ourselves. Obviously we're going to do that as well. Oh my goodness. So yeah. Yeah, there's all sorts of things.
We could Giphy that logo as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many things to do. We're basically just creating ourselves a long to-do list during the stream. So let me just go back and get that project back up. But one thing that maybe we'll have time to have a look at tomorrow is there's Adobe, I think it's called Adobe Animate, where you have like an avatar and you...
Oh, character animator.
Yeah.
So there's a small module of that inside Adobe Express.
Yeah.
With, because I did one with the unicorn on the day it was released.
Yeah. I had a little play with it as well, which was really cool. So that could be like a fun way to do some little promos for the episodes as well.
Do you know, I had to demo that at a Microsoft event for Microsoft at the Millbank Tower in London when Character Animator came out. And they told me what characters they wanted me to do, and they had I was behind a wall in there, and I had a camera facing out. There was a television screen on the wall that the people at the event could see, and the characters were just there, just bouncing around on screen, you know, like just bouncing backwards and forwards. It just looked like a straightforward animation, and every then, you know, pick something up or whatever, or nod or wink or all of those things. When people came over to the screen and looked at it, I could actually see them because there was a camera mounted just on the top of the TV. And then I'd start talking to them, but they asked me to do all of these characters, one of which was a Wendigo, which sounds a bit like an angry Batman. And before I was trained to do that sort of voice, and honestly, doing that for 4 hours was a bit much.
That does sound a bit much.
And there was a goofy like donkey character, which was good fun.
Funny.
I think that one's might be in the set for Adobe Express actually. Oh, look.
Okay, so episodes. I've decided episodes coming out on Monday, Tony. Is that okay? Or
isn't Tuesday the new Monday?
Okay, we'll go with Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday's the new Monday. Okay, and then we need the web address.
Yes.
Do you remember what it is?
Yeah, it's expresspodcast.design, I think. Nice. Or isn't it? Something like that. Express. Like that. Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that. That'll do. We'll update it.
Yeah, we'll update that. Yeah. Supergroovy.com.
It's bigger.
Was it hypergroovy? Tim made a domain with a link to all of my stuff on YouTube.
Did he?
He called it hypergroovy.com. So he kept putting that URL into things, which was very sweet.
Okay, hang on. My type's just gone a bit
it's
funky.
just a redraw error. I mean, you're working in a browser, right? So it's, you can expect some of those things to act up a little bit.
So what is expresspodcast.design?
Oh, Oliver's updating us saying you can add videos from your camera roll, just not record them straight into the app.
Right,
which seems a bit odd. Maybe there will always be a reason for something like that, Oliver, and if it's something that people want, then in the future, who knows? There's
I don't know what the link is. Maybe someone in the chat will be able to find it, but there is a website where you can suggest updates and also upvote other people's updates if it's something that you're interested in.
Oh, is it like a user voice type page? Do you know?
I don't know.
You don't know.
But I think basically everyone sort of submits what they'd like to see, and then people can upvote those things, and they're definitely like checking that out all the time.
I suggested a feature a little while ago. I think I might have told you actually.
Yeah, you did. It was a good idea.
We will see.
We'll see if they listen to you. Right, let me just copy and paste this, and hopefully it'll sort itself out. There we go.
It's a very, very odd error, isn't it? It's just, there we go.
So let's maybe get our celebration emoji as well.
Yes.
Got to have a party.
I want a GIF with somebody like that. That sort of thing.
So much as for sightseeing later. We're going to be too busy making
all of this
all the assets
stuff.
For our, okay, so then what we're going to do is animate this. Now there are like limitations on what the animation, what animations you can do, but hang on, I just want to change this to cream because it's bugging me. But it's decent what you can get done.
Yeah.
So we can have a little play around. So like one option would be, so you can basically animate sort of either the text or images. Obviously we don't have any images, so we'll go with text probably, but like we could have something like that. Ooh. Episodes released every Tuesday. We could have something like this. So I think that works quite well for that design. There's Flickr.
You imagine though, if you didn't have access to any of the other tools, to just be able to do something like that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, because if I think After Effects is a bit scary for people who've never used it before. Yeah, so to be able to create a simple animation, that then they can, you could even just create. This could be, you could save this animation and this could be a reel or a TikTok in itself.
So cool.
So you can also do colour shuffle, so where it goes through all different colours, which I always quite like. We can have it fading in.
And where are the colours? Are the colours driven from a particular location? Do they come from the brand
So
theme?
That is the only thing. It's like, no, because you'll see
it's
getting
like
in
really
some
is.
other ones, so it is a bit random.
Okay.
I mean, it's not too bad, but it's not necessary. I think it is getting some of the colours from the from the kit, but it's not. You can't control it, so it's not necessarily what you.
I don't think I'm particularly keen on that one. That still looks very.
I quite like quite subtle
grown-up shop to me, but they will.
So I think the typewriter one's quite nice
for
this because I like how the link fades in. So maybe we go for that one. So then all we need to do is download that, and it's going to give us the option to download it as an MP4 video, and then tomorrow we'll be able to bring that stitch that in, and use that for our sort of video stuff. So that'll be awesome. So I'm going to save this as a template as well. Another thing I think, in fact, let's just quickly do it now. I'm just going to duplicate the page because I think what would be nice is to have this in like a variety of different color options, so that it's not always the same on each, the end of each teaser that we make. So then we've got different options basically. So you could save that in all different colorways. I'll just give it a minute to save, and then we'll make this a template. What are we looking like time-wise?
We are good. We have about 10 minutes.
Okay, great.
And we can do a review of the journey so far if we like.
End video animation. Hey, Tony. It's all like, hey, Tony, this is what you need to do. Use this at the end of teaser videos.
Trying hard not to burst out laughing and cough at the same time, and that's very funny.
And then we'll save that there. So
yes, we're back to toffee crisps.
We are back to toffee. Yeah, well, we had to get a bit of toffee crisp in there somewhere.
Man, I want a toffee crisp right now.
Melanie's going to be like, I wanted it black and white, not toffee crisp. So if we head back over to libraries, and you'll remember that we created an Express design library. We started it in Illustrator, but now you'll see we've got everything in one place. So we've got our templates, we've got our end video animation, our overlay, testimonial template, our episode title template, and our quote templates. And it's all looking really consistent, really on brand. I got a bit carried away with the pink, I think, but all good. And then we've got our assets here. So we've got our cover, just the title, and just the name bit. So we've got everything that we need. And if we decided that we wanted to outsource this to someone else, then they've got everything. Chloe, we outsource it to Chloe. We can just invite her. You'll see there's a share button up here. Yeah. We can just invite her to have access to this brand kit, and she'll be able to use everything. That is one of the things that I love about it. And then, like, really easily, if we go back into our projects, so if I just head to home and I find, say, let's go with our quote post, from within here, we are going to be able to go to share and we can schedule it. And so you'll get to see my messy schedule and also spoiler alert of what I might be posting. And then we can like add posts. One thing that you do have to be careful about is that you can't currently add carousels from within here. So you have to download them as separate JPEGs and then re-upload them. But if you've got something that's like a single post, then you can just add that in. You pick. So it's added the first one tile, right? But it hasn't added all the others in, so that's fine. Pick what you want to like schedule it to. So I've picked Instagram. But you could schedule it to multiple channels, all from within one post. Or you might decide, and this is what I tend to do, is I will create my post from Instagram, I'll duplicate it, because I like to have it slightly different, on different platforms. So you'd write something slightly different for LinkedIn, you'd write something different for Twitter, because it's not all going to fit in. But it'll give you like the word count. So if I say I was going to post this on Twitter, you'll see that it's giving me the word count, and so it's not going to let me write any more than that.
Acres. You can just paste in.
And then you're just going to pick your time. I'm going to make sure I add this as a draft because I don't want to accidentally post on my grid. But then, we'd go in here, we'd find 1st of April, which is a Saturday, so maybe we won't be launching on the 1st of April. And then you just add your draft and it'll appear. It's down here. I haven't added a caption yet, so there's nothing there. But yeah, so that is... It's going to make our life so easy for promoting the podcast. Yes. So, a bit of a recap. So we sort of started off in Illustrator yesterday. We created
with the circus.
With the circus, it was like difficult circumstances.
It was difficult circumstances.
But we got there in the end, and we've got our cover. Yeah. This is how it turned out. We had a lot of fun playing around, even if it didn't look great at the start. We had a lot of fun playing around with the inflate tool. I could be wrong about this, but I haven't actually seen a podcast cover that has this sort of effect on it. So I think it will stand out in, when people are scrolling through Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And I think with the monochrome and the inflate tool, it's looking cool. Yeah. And then we've created all of our assets. We created our library, started it off in Illustrator. We've added all our assets that we need. We've created everything that we need to promote it on social media now. So we can get it as soon as we've got it started, we can get it out everywhere. Obviously, listener count is a huge deal with podcasts. So that would be really cool. And then tomorrow we are going to be back, and Tony is going to be taking the reins, and we're going to be looking at video and how we can edit some videos to promote our podcast. And we'll have to get some videos.
We will get busy with that, definitely. Let's have a quick look at what we've got going on in the chat. Can you use the highlight colour on the animation? That's an interesting question. Well, what you could do for us right now, Angus, is you could try that out for us and let us know tomorrow.
I'll have a play with that now that I've discovered the highlight colour.
Let's have a look. People talking about User Voice, which is one of the systems that people use. In fact, the Illustrator team used to use User Voice.
In fact, I'm just going to give this a go.
Do that. Okay, give it a try.
I'm going to give it a try because it'll be interesting to see what happens if we animate it and click Color Shuffle and see. Yeah, so it does. It does it with the highlights as well, so that's great.
So underneath that, it's probably identifying those highlighted fragments. As an element, so there'll be sort of a span element or something underneath, and that's where they'll be animated from there.
So Joe's asked a good question, which I do not know the answer to, but I'm going to look into. But it says, can you have animated podcast covers? I have never seen one, so my guess is that you can't. But if you could, that would be awesome.
I do wonder.
Have you seen one? I don't think I've ever seen one.
Apple Music has them.
Okay.
Spotify,
it might be on
would
some
have them because Spotify has that. Some things with some artists, they have like reels running in the background.
Yeah.
We ought to investigate
that.
We'll
investigate that.
That'd be.
We'll come back tomorrow with lots of answers to questions.
Or, as is frequently the case, lots more questions.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Sean's saying, I like to use the typewriter effect and duplicate the text and offset like a drop shadow.
Ooh,
that's
nice.
a good idea.
That's really
See,
fun.
that's creative thinking.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Like how you can take a tool that's actually quite simple and just like elevate it, make it do something. That's really clever.
No, really good stuff.
Sean's always there with the top tips.
And Amos is in with the boom.
Yeah, I know.
Well, anyway, hopefully... there's no hopefully about it yet. We managed to actually get through today without all of the many things that went wrong yesterday, which if you saw it, thanks for sticking around with that and bearing with us while we had those very challenging problems yesterday before we even got as far as going online. But no, thank you for that. Join us again tomorrow. So we will be looking at some motion and animation and video stuff with us tomorrow, so come along for that. In the meantime, I think we're all good.
Yeah.
I think it's goodbye from us, I think, for now.
Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, it's been great having you all in the chat with us.
Take good care. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care now. Bye.